What up, everybody? Welcome to another live stream here at Fast Trax Live. What the heck? It's on my glasses. Hi, my name is Paul Abernathy, and welcome to a rare Thursday night live stream. It's great to have you here. It's been a lot going on here at the Academy, and we had a great Wednesday night session last night with a lot of our Fast Trax students. Where we did multifamily dwelling, kind of went over some of the concepts of multifamily dwelling and those type of things. But I want to welcome you to tonight's episode. Now, the topic of tonight's episode is 90 days to licensure. And I have no idea why my glasses are fogging up. So let me clean that up so I can actually see the screen. So thanks for joining me, and all my haters out there, go ahead and give your thumbs down now, get it out of the way. So, you know, I'm already used to that. So there's one of you out there and you know who you are. So, but anyway, welcome. So tonight's topic, we're really going to talk about the ability to, what you need to do to be able to test or get your license in 90 days. And a lot of people talk to me about our program and they go, and we'll talk about other tips as well, but what people do is they'll say, okay, what is this 90-day plan that you talk about? And how do I implement it? And what are some of the things that I need to do? And maybe I'm not in your program. What can I do to study? We'll talk about that a little bit tonight. So kind of cover the whole gamut. And if you have questions, you're getting ready to prepare for your exam, or you have anxiety over the electrical exam, or things that you can expect, or maybe you have questions on how the exams are developed and what rights you have in an exam. In other words, can you contest a question? All those type of things we can talk about in tonight's episode. But first and foremost, we are going to pay some bills for those that are here early. I want you to know that we do have custom engraved products over on our website. So I did want to show you a couple of those real quick for those that are interested. I'm a big believer in minimalist wallets. I got rid of my normal wallet years ago. So you have in black, we have Master Electrician. This is a minimalist wallet. Okay. We have them over on our website, fasttracksystem.com. So you're going to endure my sales piece for a second. We have available in the orange as well, and these also can be in journeyman as well. If you don't see one of the on our website, just holler at us. We'll get it for you, and we'll get it added up there for you. We're a little slow on doing that. And of course, we have a red one here. They are available in journeyman or master. But if you go to the website and you don't see one in the journeyman, just send us a note. We'll get it on there for you. It just maybe means we haven't added it yet. Okay. Also, just want to give a shout out. We also have the custom license plates. Again, this one's a little bit, offends people, but it is what it is. Okay, we have those. We have quite a few of those. We have these. Real men know how to use these nuts, and you can have your license number, your name put over here, whatever you want. You just let us know in the comments. Same one here. This was Gods of Current, Master Electrician. These are nice anodized aluminum here. I'm an electrician, but I can't fix what stupid does. And of course, you have our traditional Master Electrician. Then all these available in journeyman as well. So I want to get those out of the way so we can get into the night's topic. And those are just some swag stuff that you can get over on our website. At fasttracksystem.com. If you want the hats and other type of neat swag, then you got to go to electricianpride.com. That's pride, PRIDE.com. There's some great stuff over there that you're not going to find on our website, by the way. Okay, so you want to check that out. All right, let's talk about this 90-day study plan first. So let's get this out of the way. If you're in our program or you're not in our program and you're trying to study, you've heard me talk about it before, 90 days to successful getting your license. Now, this assumes that you have all your prerequisites out of the way, right? This assumes that you have the certain number of hands-on hours in whatever state you're in, assuming that you have that. The blood, sweat, and tears, as we like to say. So as soon as you have all that, then you should start preparing to take your electrical exam. Don't wait. Once you get those hours, get on it. There's no better time like today in order to go on and get started if you've got the number of hours. Now, every state's different. Some states, the number of hours are very detailed and documented. And has to be, followed diligently, which is your responsibility. Don't ever let anybody tell you that the hours for your license are somebody else's responsibility. It is always your responsibility. It's your license. So you make sure you keep a little ledger, whether it's a little notebook or whatever you have. Make sure that you keep track of your hours, whether or not you just write it down every paycheck that you see the number of hours and you just document it, or you keep your stubs. Whatever it is, you need to document and keep track of your hours. That's your responsibility. Okay, don't rely on others. Don't rely on the master. Or don't rely on the company to do that. That's your responsibility to make sure you do that. Okay. All right. So, studying for an electrical exam. I know that there's people that watch this that aren't studying for an exam and they already have their license. And you should always be digging in and refreshing yourself when it comes to knowing the National Electrical Code. And so I'll show a couple resources for you folks as well to keep you fresh and keep you into things. And I'll also do a couple new announcements that we're going to have for this summer. As well here as we get further into the night show. Okay. All right. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to post them in the chat, whatever platform, whether you're Facebook, YouTube, on X, or Twitter, or whatever it is. Feel free to post your question if you have one about exam prep and studying, or maybe you failed a couple times and you're just, they're just frustrated. Those type of things. You're not alone. It happens to an awful lot of people out there. Okay. All right. So I'm going to answer a couple questions that people ask me, and so I can get those questions out of the way. One of the questions people ask is, Paul, you used to do a lot of training videos over on YouTube. Why do you not do training videos over there anymore? Well, to be honest with you, I don't really give away my training anymore. There's plenty of other people out there that can do education for you if you need to, and you want the free resources. By all means. A lot of people say they found out about me through YouTube and things like that. But, over the past 34 years, we have developed a system that, to be honest with you, I don't give it away anymore for free. So some people will like that and some people don't. But there are some great resources. Electrical Code Coach out there. There's Ryan Jackson does some training out there. So there's a lot of people that do give away free resources. And they're very worthy of your following them. I do put questions and code stuff up on our YouTube channel from time to time. There is 3 questions up there right now that I challenge you to go answer and put your answers in the comments. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Okay. But we encourage you to do that. All right. So first things first. 90 days. What's our 90-day study plan for students that ask, what's the 90-day, or what should you do for 90 days? Okay, the first thing you need to do is find a structured way to study. Now, if you have our Fast Tracks program, it's very structured. Unit 1 through Unit 19, and then you just come to the Wednesday night sessions. If you have any questions that you may have that you encountered while you're doing you're going through your unit, then more than happy to come to us on Wednesday nights and bring your questions. Make sure you write them down, bring them to class so that you can not waste a lot of our time fumbling over what your question is or saying like, well, I remember there was a question on this and that. No, write it down ahead of time. That's your homework to bring it to class. Okay. So the 90-day program or the 90-day concept is something that through the many, many years of doing these training and courses, that we determined that it takes between 95 to 100 hours of dedicated study. Okay. And when we say dedicated study, we mean going through something that actually not just flipping the code book. Oh, and by the way, I should mention this while you have your attention here, is in your code book, if you choose to tab it, do not buy a code book that's already tabbed. Do it yourself. And always buy your code books from a reputable source. I do not recommend you buy code books on any social media platform. Go to nfpa.org, or go to your local supply house. Do not buy your code books on social media and from anybody on social media. That's why I do not sell code books. Okay. All right. So go to a trusted source for your code books. Okay. Because there are counterfeits out there and you have a hard time knowing the difference. All right. I can tell the difference because I know what the code book looks like. And the best thing you can do is before you go buy a code book or you get a code book to know whether it's counterfeit or not, is look at it compared to known editions that are not counterfeit. That type of scenario. Right. So anyway, because you'll be sorry. What happens is you'll be sorry when you go to look up questions and the answers aren't there, and you swear you're saying, Paul, you got to be wrong. And I'm like, no, this is the right answer, and your code book doesn't have it, or it's missing a bunch of pages, things like that. Okay, so what's up, Dr. Schwartz? Welcome. As always, Schwartz is like a rock. He's always there, and unlike other people, I don't think Swartzy would ever stab me in the back. I'm just saying. Just saying. All right. So, anywho, okay, 90 days. So, when we say 95 to 100 hours of dedicated study, that means when you ask me about the 90-day program, that means that you're going to be studying for a minimum of 2 times a week. It doesn't matter what program you're in. 2 times a week, at least 4 hours each session. Okay. So when you do that, we're looking at it this way. So if you're going to study for 8 hours weekly, 8 times 12 is 96 hours. So like we said, 95 to 100, because we realize that some you will do a little more, some weeks you'll do an hour less, but that's the magic sweet spot. Okay, now, do you have to do the 2 4 hours each week? No, you could do 4 2 hours if you want. The magic number is the 8 hours a week, right? That's the magic number. Now, people ask me and they say, well, Paul, can I do this quicker than 12 weeks or 90 days? And the answer is yes, you can. You certainly can do it quicker, but you got to remember, if you're going to spend 6 or 7 hours a day doing it, there's a high probability that you're going to get burnt out. And the other part is you will start getting to a point where you second guess yourself. And we don't want that either, right? That's why I tell folks all the time is if you're studying for an electrical exam, you can waste an awful lot of your valuable time. That's what the Fast Track system was so good about. It uses a document that is published document. Charles Miller's. We've never hidden the fact that the course we use is based on Charles Miller's book, and then we've adapted it to online, and we've added things in it, and we added the interaction, we added the Wednesday nights, and all those type of things in order to be able to tailor it to a book that wasn't really designed for exam prep. It wasn't. And I'm not going to recreate the wheel here. Code is code. So what we do is we try to put it in a format that it was never intended originally to be used for, but now we've turned it into that. And that's what the Fast Track system is, okay? So if you're studying and you're just using this code book and you're just flipping through trying to read it, the problem you have is that you have absolutely no idea what's going to be on that exam. You don't know whether or not you're spending too much time in the motors versus in something like branch circuits. You really don't know. And so what we've identified, and I've helped write exams, I've been on committees for PSI. So what we look for is a well balance. And that's why we chose Charles's document to do that with, because what happens is, and we partner with Cengage, so it works out perfect because they are a very large corporation that supplies these type of things to all over the country, to universities all over the country, right? And so we teamed up with them to bring you the material. It's how we deliver it that makes it unique. Now, if you're studying on your own and you're just going through the code book, I'm going to give you some tips, okay? Get used to bold scanning, okay? Get used to understanding how bold scanning works and all that concepts, all right? That's very important for you to get used to it. And we cover that on our Wednesday night sessions when we do the Q&A sessions. But I am going to tell you, here's some resources for you, okay? I did get an amazingly nice email that I want to read to you, if you don't mind, if you'll indulge me for a second. And I won't give the gentleman's name, but I want to read this email. As you can see, this is a long email, okay? And I will tell you, this is a person that did not buy my course. Did not buy my course. And there's a reason I'm going to read this to you, but I was very touched by it, and I thought I would read it. So you indulge me for a second. I will read this for you, okay? And if you got questions, post them in the comments. I promise you I will get to them. I'm going to read this to you real quick. He says, hello. I wanted to share something with you. In preparing for my Delaware Master's electrician's test, I spent almost every dollar I could spend on Mike Holt's products. Nothing wrong with Mike, and I'm not jamming on you, Mike, or anybody. Mike does a great job to the industry. I'm just reading the email, okay? He said, everyone that I talked to said that was the only way to go. Those products were very helpful in learning the types of questions that would be on the test. So I thought. He said, in trying to learn every edge I could get, I would search YouTube videos. The very first video I watched of yours, I knew I should have purchased your products. Today, I took my master's tests, and it was nothing like the thousands of practice test questions that I had completed. They were phrased completely different than what I was doing in the practice tests. Wow. Okay. So that's important, right? It says, I started to freak out. Without watching Paul break down each individual question, I would have been lost. I just did what he showed on the videos. Without finding your YouTube videos, I would not have received a passing grade on my very first try. I can say without a doubt that I would not have passed without your extremely helpful insight. If anyone ever asks me what they should do to prepare for the test, I will tell them to only look at your videos and products. I can only say sorry for not finding your products sooner. I know that the NEC test is not about what you know, but how you find the answers in a timely manner in the things you don't know. Otherwise, you wouldn't need to look up the code. You are the only product, company, or individual that shows how to actually answer NEC code questions, which is the reason why anyone would buy a test prep in the first place. I only know of 2 master electricians passing their test on the very first try in Delaware, and both of them took the test after taking 4-year classes. I did it on my first try after coming across Paul's YouTube videos. Thank you again. You helped change my family's future. When I need to do a refresher, I will buy your products. New master electrician, and I won't say his name. I can tell you what, let me tell you something. I've been doing this for 34 years. Like me or hate me, and I've got my haters. I do sell products. I'm not going to lie. I do sell products. I came up with new lower price courses to help people. because I feel like you need to structure your training the right way. Sure, you can read the code book and learn, but I wanted to make sure that you got a structured program so that you could take it in bite sizes to learn the code. So there are other products out there. There's a lot of code question databases that you just buy. That is not the way to study for an exam. Now, if you're already studying and you need something like some questions to help hone those lookup skills, then we sell database questions. You know what I'm saying? So, it's one of those things that this is not hyperbole. This is not me making this stuff up. I get these emails constantly from students all over the country. So I know it works. Now, if you're in our program and you're struggling, then again, just focus. You can't lead a horse. You can't make a horse you lead the water drink, but you can give him the water. I'm trying to give you the water. Okay. So I just don't want to see you struggle by flipping through this book thinking that you're studying the right things and spending so much time. And we have lowered the price of our courses down to where it's a no-brainer. It really is, whether it's $299 or $375. Dude, I cannot get it any lower than that. I can't. In fact, for what you get and the fact that it doesn't expire, that's also an amazing new thing that we bought to our program. So again, I'm just saying. Now, if you're studying and you're not in our program, the 90 days still applies to you. You need to study 2 times a week, at least 4 hours, but I want you to focus on your study. And when I say that, here's what I want you to do. If you're not in our program, I'm going to give you some tips. Spend 1 4-hour session just doing nothing but motors. That's it. 430. I want you to focus on 430.22a for continuous duty motors at 125%. I want you to focus on 430.24 for multiple motors, the largest motor at 125 and the remainder at the sum or the FLC value of it. I want you to focus on short circuit ground fault protection in 430.52. I want you to focus on the tables in 430.247, 248, 249, 250. Those are the things I want you to study. I want you to think about the overloads. Think about possible overload questions in 430.32. These are things I want you, and I want you to spend 4 hours doing it. The next 2 days from there, when you've caught your breath, you're going to study again that week. Okay, so now go over and study transformers in 450. Go over the table 450.3 very closely. Primary and secondary protection of the transformer. And then realize that you still have to protect the conductors, right? And so take your time and go through the transformers. Go through 450. Learn about the vaults. Learn about the spill sill heights. And read it and study it. That's dedicated study, not just flipping back and forth through the book. If I give you any tip, that is a massive tip. Don't go jumping around. Be focused on your study, right? Now, when you want to do conductor sizing, focus, okay? Focus on 210.19. Focus on the 215.2, okay? All those things. Focus and understanding continuous loads and non-continuous loads. The point here is I talk to too many people that simply flip through that code, they jump all over the place, and they're not focused. Dude, I've got attention deficit disorder as bad as anybody. Hell, ask Mike. Ask any of my students. Dude, I could be here, then there, then here, then there. I've struggled like you through years. Tests are not easy, but they're not designed to be easy. They're designed to be the benchmark. You got to get past that benchmark. Now, one of those nights that you're studying in those 90 days, 2 times a week, 4 hours each session, one of those nights, I want you to purely study single-family dwelling calculations. That's it. For that 4 hours, I want you to work it on breaking it down, the 3 VA per square foot, the minimum of 2 small appliance branch circuit at 1,500 VA. I want you to focus on the laundry circuit at 1,500 VA. Focus on those things. Understand how to apply the first 3,000 at 100%, the next 117,000 at what? 35%, and everything over that at 25%. That is going to be the demands that you can place on it. Take your time. Now, Obviously, in our program, we break those things down for you. So it's a little easier. And not only that, do we actually give you some forms to use. It's not brain surgery. I'm not recreating the wheel here in our program. What I'm doing is providing you the information so that you can study properly and stop wasting your time. That's what we've done. Okay. So let's see here. We've got some. I said I was going to get to everybody's questions. So again, keep your questions coming. Jesus, thanks for joining us. Nice to see you. Dalton says, can I take the 2020 and use a 2017 code book? I don't recommend it. You might need to check with your test center. They might say that you can't. I don't know why you couldn't. That's going to be to your detriment to do that. But my advice is it's a small price to invest in your future. Make sure you own the code books that you need to have. Right now, I understand that some people might be studying the 2017 and then the code change in that state jumps to 2020 and you're like, oh crap, what am I going to do? Well, the advice to that is make sure you have both code books. Even though you might be studying, let's say, in a 2017 program and you're now going to have to test in the 2020, but the code changed during the middle of your studying, that's okay. Because what you need to do is you need to work your program, if you're in a program, with the code book that's for that program. And then when you look it up or you're looking at those references, stop. And when you go to the code book, make sure you do the same thing in the 2020. So you're going to have both code books out. Yeah, it's going to be tougher for you, but that way you'll get familiar with something that may be changed a little bit. And so in an exam, you're going to be clear on all that. And again, you're learning two of them, but that's okay because they should be the same code information. So it shouldn't be that much of a stretch for you. So it's going to be tougher for you. Can you do it? Sure you can. I mean, I think most people freak out about the calculations. And on most exams, especially journeyman exams, the calculations are not going to make or break whether you pass the exam or not. Now, in a master's test, probably, because in many states like Texas, they break the calculations up. So you got code lookup, and then you got calculations. Okay, well, you got to know how to do both, but they're done separately. On a journeyman's, Texas journeyman, or most other states, there's not a whole lot of calculation ones in there. So you just need to hone in on those lookup skills, right? That type of thing. Let's see here. Mark, welcome. Mark says he's in Delaware too, so you can relate to that gentleman. Hopefully you'll have the same success as that gentleman had. What to see here? Swartzy, congratulations, that individual. Yep, I already sent them the email. It was awesome to get an email like that. And you know, the guy didn't invest in us, but he used my content. Okay. And yeah, I don't put out the same amount of content on YouTube that I used to, guys. And look, I'm not immune to the fact that I do more selling now on YouTube. But guys, listen to me for a second. I know there's other people that have training courses on YouTube and have other videos on YouTube. That's not their money. It's not their company. They don't have nearly what I have invested. I got to make a living. And so I've tried to make my courses as affordable as possible. I tried to make our databases. You can buy our database for $119. We've tried to make things affordable, but I can't give it away anymore. That's why we created Fast Trax Tube. Okay. And I got more questions to answer, but I am going to show you that real quick, because if you are studying and you don't have our program, at least you should be watching our videos and some of the recorded Wednesday night sessions and some of the practice exams that I do that are only available over at Fast Trax Tube. Okay. So this is Fast Trax Tube, and I'll get back to the questions here in a second. Here's Fast Trax Tube, and you can see that we have right here, this one alone, this is 8-hour calculation video right here, guys. 8 hours. There's the motors. There's one of our exam prep sessions. This one right here is some more of the exam prep sessions. We have other videos that are in here. There's a lot of stuff here, guys, that you can go through. Here's available fault current. Here's neutral calculations. Okay. So they're all right here. You can go up here to the series and click series, and you can see all of the current series. We have a new series that's coming. That's one of our new things that I want to announce to you, that we have the Just Calculations series that's going to be starting in the next month or so. And that is going to be nothing but calculations. And that's a special series that's only going to be available over on Fast Trax 2. Now, as you see at the top of the screen, we have a 50% off coupon. Dude, guys, I don't know if you want to give back or you enjoy what we do. That's one of the better ways to do it. It's $99. You use that 50% off coupon. It's $49.50 for 8 hours of me teaching you calcs. But it's not only that. We have 12 hours of grounding and bonding videos in there. So that alone, and we have the pool and spa series that me and Vince did that's in there. It's all in the video platform, and everything we do is slowly migrating to that platform. I'm a little short-handed now since, as most of you know, I lost people here. Brittany left. So we're getting more videos up there. Just be patient, but it's a great investment. And it's also, people send me donations all the time. Stop sending me donations. I don't need the money that way. I'd prefer you to invest in the video platform. This is one of my babies. This is one of our flagships. And by you doing that, you're investing in us and you're getting something for your money, right? So that's what I'd rather see you do, okay? Really, that's really what I'd rather see happen, okay? All right, so let me take you back to me real quick. Okay, so that's kind of an offshot of that. Now, during that 90 days that you're studying, you have database questions. Now, I will tell you right now, I do not want you as students or people studying the code to go out and buy database questions, whether it's 1,000 questions, 500, 600, whatever. I don't want you buying database questions to use that alone as your study method. That is not successful for most people, okay? Because that still means that you're basically randomly going through the code, but you're doing lookup questions, and you can use my dissection method that I talk about and all that, but ultimately, you still have to look everything up. So the key on an exam to generating extra time to make sure that you're comfortable and relaxed is building a repository of time. If you just use code questions all the time, then all you're doing is practicing looking up code questions, but you're not getting the knowledge of things that you can just answer right away on an exam. And again, post your questions in the comment. I promise you I will get to them all before I leave. So if you posted something, I will get to it, I promise. All right, so that's why we prefer a structured program. But if you are going to study on your own and you are going to not get into a structured program, right? Or if you buy some program that you're really not happy with because it's really not teaching you something, then go ahead and get our database and work with the code book and that, at least do something. But I would not say, if you're getting ready to prepare for an exam right now and you haven't really started doing anything, you have no idea how you want to study, exam prep questions are probably not the first bet for doing it. A structured program is the best bet for doing that. And I have made, at the least, our $299 basic course and it already comes with the structured question. Think about that. For $299, you already get the $119 database included in it anyway, right? Plus additional videos, plus other stuff in there. Not the enhanced, but there are some stuff that it's in the database for you, okay? All right, anyway, let's see here. We got some question here. Brooklyn says, I passed my exam. Thank you for your encouragement. Congratulations. Let's see here. I know I've got some... There you go, Brooklyn. Bones. Congratulations, my guy. Now let's see here. Isaac? What does Isaac say? I'm studying to take the 2020. Your exam preps have helped me. Well, that is awesome, Isaac. I appreciate you. And again, folks, if you're students of mine, remember, I am always accessible to you. You use paulabernathy.com. And when you're putting your question in, make sure you let me know you're a Fast Track student and you will go to the top of the heap. And trust me, Darlene, and then we'll verify who you are by the email address that you use, whether or not you're a Fast Track student. Because if you're not, then I'll just dump you back into the pool and I'll get to them as I get to them. But definitely, Fast Track students come first. But yes, Make sure you use all of our resources, which brings me to another resource. Isaac, you gave me a thought. Anybody out there, if you do not have our mobile app on your phone, I got to ask you, you just don't like me? I'm trying to give you free stuff. I'm not trying to sell you anything. We have a mobile app. It's free. All you do is load it on your phone. It goes right down the icon. You click it, and there it is. Okay? Right there. You can chat directly in the feature in here. We have a chat feature that allows you to be able to interact with all of the members that have the mobile app. You can interact with everybody almost instantly, right? So here you go. There's an example right there. That's the question I posted about calculating a school. Can't really see it, but we post all kinds of stuff in there. Ted does a great job of posting some daily questions in there. Ted's probably on here somewhere. Swartzy comes in there, Dr. Swartz. So again, that's a great, and it's right on your phone. But another neat thing about here is that you can get to Fast Trax Tube instantly on your phone right there. You can get to a bunch of calculators, field calculators, ampacity calculators, all kinds of neat stuff here. You can also listen to every Master the NEC podcast that we do. Directly from here, you can stream it to whatever Bluetooth device you want. They're all right there. Let's see. So again, there's so much here. I don't know why you wouldn't get this. And where do you get it? Just go to our website, fasttracksystem.com. Like it says right here under the logo here, fasttracksystem.com. Click on the navigation link and you'll see it says mobile app. It's just simple. We will not load any software on your phone, I promise you. All it does is it's a web-based app, and all we do is put a link on your phone. That's it. And if it asks you to accept something, say yes, so that we can send you notifications if something new comes out or something changes in the state code somewhere or whatnot. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, that's Isaac. We got Isaac. Let's see here. We got Dalton says, I just bought one and I had some pages ripped out of it when I got it. And I'm in a short time of taking my electrical exam prep class this Saturday. And all I have is the 2017. Okay. Well, it sounds to me like maybe you got a counterfeit one or something like that, because that's one of the problems with counterfeit code books. Again, never buy your code books on Amazon, never buy them on eBay. And I encourage you not to buy them from anybody on social media. Anybody. Okay? Don't do it. All right, let's see. Oscar, what is up, my friend? Thanks for joining me. Let's see here. We got Abraham from San Diego. Again, guys, ask any code question when it comes to exam prep. Ask anything about exam preps. I'm more than happy to answer for you. Let's see here. California, I know where San Diego is, bruh. Absolutely. The app, it's not in the App Store. I don't believe in those app stores. I'm not giving any money to Google, and I'm not giving any money to Apple. It's directly from our website. So all you got to do is go to our website, fasttracksystem.com, and in the navigation, you click mobile app, and you can go right there and you can get it. If you're on the desktop, then you can go to it and it'll be a QR code there, and you can scan it with your phone and it'll put it on your phone for you. Okay. So we give multiple ways to do it. Okay. What's up, Sarah Firm? Some of our Fast Track students from typically comes to Wednesday nights. Thank you for joining. Okay. So let's get back to this 90-day. Okay. So what does it mean to study 2 times a week for 8 hours each session for 12 weeks or 90 days? What should that give you? Well, if you study properly, it's going to give you the confidence that when you go into that exam, that you're going to nail that exam. Now, does that mean that you can't go more than 90 days? Oh, absolutely. You go whatever feels comfortable to you. We're saying that to be optimized for 90 days, then you need to study at least 2 times a week for 4 hours each session. Now, every week, what you're going to do is if I do unit 1 and unit 2, Then I'm going to drop down to the practice question database, and I'm going to do 1 or 2 practice databases a week. And then the next week, I'm going to go on with unit 3 or unit 4. And then I'm going to go down and I'm going to do a couple practice questions, a couple practice exams. That's how you should be doing it during that whole period. So you should be doing your units and your practice questions. Units, practice questions. Now, remember something. We don't write the practice questions. We buy that database for you to use. So again, we don't write them, so don't call me if you don't like one of the questions. If you think one of the questions are bad, go ahead and post it in our paulabernathy.com, and I will tell you whether or not it's a wonky question or not. But there's very few, okay? This pretty solid database, okay? But there's other educators out there that have errors that are in the entire book. We don't have that many errors, trust me. So I don't worry about those type of things. We don't have that kind of issue. We say code is code. But again, make sure you study that way. Now, the other thing that I'll remind students to do, and I have to do this from time to time in our program, is that you need to remember that when we give you code references, okay, when we give you the chevrons, okay, these little arrows, please, no matter whether you're in our basic program, our enhanced program, or our black program, or our plus program. And if anybody wants to know the difference in those, feel free to ask in the comments. I'll explain. You have to remember that part of the process of the system is taking you from your course into your NEC. Read the information in the chevrons, go to that code reference, read it, and then come back to the program and then read it again, okay? This process takes some time, but it helps you retain the code better for when you're going to take the exam. Now, have any of you heard of what we call the 3-wave method? Now, I've been talking about this now for probably 30 years. I remember I was probably the first person talking about that there's a right way and a wrong way to take an exam, okay? So the reason that you're doing multiple units, and the reason why I say jumping around the code book is going to just kill a lot of time, and when you go into the test, you're still going to be eat up with anxiety because you didn't study properly. And it's going to actually cost you more in time that you're never going to get back than if you do it structured, okay? Structured, right? So what happens is you go to, you're prepared, you're all ready, you go take this exam, okay? You're going to sit down, you're going to get an introduction that shows you how to work the console. You're going to be asked some qualifying questions like what color is the sky, all this kind of stuff. And they're just getting you used to the test taking, that type of thing, right? There's going to be an ability for you to actually check a question and mark it so that it stays in the data, it stays in the actual list, okay? So that when you do it on different waves, you can go back to the questions that you've checked, right? Now, if you're in a state that doesn't have electronic testing and you're still using pencil and paper, okay, that's okay because you use your scratch paper to mark a question. So let me show you how this works. So you go through the exam when you first get started, you go through it and you literally try to go through the exam as quickly as possible on the first wave, answering every question, right? Every question that you just know right away. Now, how would you know them? Because you've been studying. That's why I say flipping through here and trying to study on your own, just trying to read it verbatim, it's not going to do anything but give you brain freeze. What we do is we use the information that is the best probable options for learning what would be on the exam. So you're going to remember the securing and supporting rules for NM cable, for MC cable. You're going to remember those things, right? 4.5 feet, 6 feet, 12 inches of a box. Okay, so you're going to learn all that stuff, but you're also going to pick up all the other nuances while you're in a structured program. That's what our program does. Now, when you're taking that exam, and I can tell you this with 100% certainty because I have over 5,000 students and I have email after email after email of people to be able to tell you this because they tell me. Our questions that are in the competency review are tougher than what's on the electrical exam. And we do that for a reason, not the practice stuff, but our competency questions. Why are they that way? Because as you go through there and you're answering all these questions when you sit for this exam, that first wave, answer what you know. If you see one you know right away, you mark it, answer, and you move on. Now, if you get a question that takes you about more than a minute, and again, guesstimating because you're not really hyper-focused on the time, but you kind of get that anxiety going. If you have one that you've just been flipping, and you haven't gotten the answer yet, don't dwell on it. Mark that sucker electronically, put a little checkbox by it, or write its number of that question on your scratch paper and go on to the next question. The point of the first wave in a 3-wave method is to try to go through the exam as quickly as you can. Answer what you know based on your knowledge. Guys and gals, you've been doing this for enough time to get the hours to sit for this exam. Don't get intimidated. You ready? Y'all got this. You just need somebody to help coach you along, to help show you the proper way to study. Once you put it, that's why we say at least 90 days, although you can do it quicker, but we say 90 because when I want you to go through those doors to sit for that exam, I want you to be ready. I want you to feel confident. You're going to nail this thing. In fact, it's not about just barely making it. You're looking around going, okay, I'm here. What's the record? Right? I'm going to nail this thing because I know what I'm doing. Okay, so go through that first wave, answer everything you know, mark the ones that are going to be more over a minute. And then once you get to the end, you'll have the option to bring back all of the ones that you checked. And so it'll take you back to the first one that you checked. Then you get to spend another minute to minute and a half on that question. If you still can't answer it, then you leave it checked and you go to the next one. Now, the moment that you answer one of those questions, guess what you do? You uncheck it. And then you go to the next one. So your process is trying to answer as many as you can on the second wave by spending about a minute and a half. Or even 2 minutes wouldn't be so bad because if you do the first wave correctly, you're going to have plenty of time. Okay? Now, the third wave is whatever you have left that is not checked. Okay? Whatever you have left that actually has checks. And here's the tip about the third wave. You do not move off that question unless you've answered it. But you're still only going to spend what? A minute to a minute and a half on it. So what that means is you're going to do deductive reasoning by that time. If you got 4 questions and you can break it down, you still can't find the answer, but you can knock off the obvious. Remember, if it's 4 questions, you have a 25% chance of getting it right. You eliminate one, you've got what? A 33% chance of getting it right. You eliminate another one, you got a 50-50 chance, right? So at the end of the day, get used to reducing your odds of getting it wrong, okay? Increase the odds of being successful by eliminating something that is obviously not the right answer, okay? And if you have to take a guess at that point, you're at least making an educated guess. I'm not here to tell you that during your exam, you're just going to breeze through and find every single question right away. But guess what? While you're looking through that first wave, and then when you get to the second wave, you're probably going to stumble across the answer to a question that you still haven't answered yet when you get to the third wave. Okay? So follow that process. Spend about a minute to a minute and a half per question on each wave. Okay? Now, what happens if you finish and you got time left over? What should you do? So I have some students that say, dude, I'm out of there. Okay? When I took my test in Texas, I was out of there in like record time. Well, why? Well, at the time I helped write the exam. So, and this is what I do for a living. So I knew the questions. I knew how to answer questions, and this is what I do. So there was no reason for me to stay. That's different for you. This is your livelihood. This is what you need to pass this exam. So if you get done and you have an hour left, here's my recommendation. Don't go changing questions and don't go second guessing yourself. But you need to go to some of the ones that you did in that third wave and you can start looking at them again. All right? Just kind of look at them. Or If you have any calculation questions in there, those are the ones that you can go spend a little extra time on, okay? But definitely don't start second guessing yourself. That's can be a problem with some people, is they can start getting to the end and they go through and they start changing everything. No, don't do that. To go with your gut, you're going to find that you're going to be most successful with that. Now, let me talk about what happens if you fail. Hey, look, I know some of the best electricians that I've ever worked with in my life have failed their exams multiple times, and they are amazing electricians, okay? Amazing electricians. Look, some people don't do well on exams, whether the anxiety, the stress, they don't like the condition they're being put in, things like that. They just don't test well. This is why we want you, and this is why I believe in a structured program. We're going to build up those skills, okay? We're going to build up it so that we remove your anxiety to sit for the exam. Speaking of questions, when you do work on those practice questions, let me tell you a little secret about how you really should study a question, okay? Are you ready? Do not use the timers that are on the courses. Do not buy courses or programs that they may have a timer built in. Don't use them. Do not try to do a 100-question exam and try to replicate what you'd have over in the test center. Don't do it, folks. Don't do it. I have learned this through the years. Let me tell you the best way to do it. Get your phone out. All of you got cell phones. I can't believe it. There's nobody out there that doesn't have a cell phone today. Open up the clock feature in your phone. Go to the timer and set you a timer. Set your timer for 2 minutes. During your practice sessions here, while you're studying, 2 minutes a question, okay? Not like I said on an exam, a minute and a half. Right now, you're training yourself, okay? So we're going to start with some expectations that are reasonable. Set your timer at 2 minutes. Now, most of my students are going to hear me say this. I don't want you using a timer at all until you get down to what? The last 2 weeks before your exams. What do you do until then with the questions? There is no timer. I want you to take your time, dissect the hell out of that question. I want you to look at that question, and I want you to look up every word in it that may be pertinent to finding the answer. That's what we call dissection. You're going to go use the index. You're going to look up and learn things in the index that you didn't know. You're going to look and say, well, I didn't know that was even in there under that. That's called dissection. I was the very first person that ever talked about that kind of method of taking your time on a question, and don't be so enamored by the clock. Now, when you do that during your first, when you're studying in our program, for example, you'll get through all 19 units. You'll have been doing practice exams, every week, taking your time, dissecting questions, things like that. Now you get to the last 2 weeks. This is why we gave you an additional database of questions. There's almost 800 plus questions in there, right? So the point is, don't be in a hurry. Get your money's worth out of these questions, okay? If you think about it, you've got competency review questions, and you've got what? You've got the practice exams, okay? Now, if you're in our basic and in our enhanced, you're grading your own competency review. Don't be in such a hurry to go to the answer key. That means do the test, double check your work, make sure you feel ready. Don't just give up on a question. This is one problem I have with students in our Fast Trax Black and our Plus program. I do not like when students submit blank answers. If you got an answer that's blank, then you're not ready to submit it yet. Why are you in such a hurry to move to the next unit? You can actually save your work if you're in the Black or the Plus program. Just click save. If you can't find the answer to a couple of them, take a break, come back the next day, come back an hour later. But don't click the submit button until you've answered every question. Don't give up so easy. People are giving up. Also, people are submitting competency reviews that are half answered or blank. Don't waste my time. If you're not going to spend the time doing it, don't send me some blank review. is if you got like 3 questions answered and the rest of them are blank, I'm not going to answer it. I'm just going to delete it. If you don't give me code references, I'm going to mark it wrong. Why? Because you're here. It's not me trying to be tough. It's that you pay good money, whether it's the $299 program or the $375 program or the 5+ program or the $600 program. It's your hard-earned money. Look, I can relate. Okay, I'm an electrician at heart. I've told people, whether I got my engineering degree and all the other stuff I've done, the greatest moment in my life was when, other than my marriage to my wife, is when I became a licensed electrician. If you're out there and you're not licensed, you're just an electrical worker. You're maybe a great electrical worker, and we need you. We appreciate you. But my goal is to elevate you, get you to be a journeyman, get you to be a master. You don't have to own your own company to be a master, but it's the pride that you carry knowing you earned it. Okay? And anything that's tough is well earned. And I want to help make that just a little bit easier for you. Okay? All right. So anyway, that's some of my thoughts on that. Let's see here. Let me see if I got some other questions going on here. Abraham says, I'm going to be one of your students soon and buy your program. Hey, I appreciate it, Abraham. Again, we appreciate all of our students who buy our program. Also remind the Black and the Plus students, I should remember to remind you this, we are going through a purge. So if your course was purchased over a year ago, you probably will lose access to it because they're only 12-month programs. That's why the basic and the enhanced are the best value because they don't expire. But those are new programs that we introduced. Let's see here. What do we got? Alfonso says, what is the difference between the programs? Okay. So the basic and the enhanced are exactly the same as the Black and the Plus. The only difference is in the basic and enhanced, you get instant access. We log your keys for you, so you don't log them yourself like you do with the Black. We do that for you. We take care of all the registration for you, so it makes it easy. So once you join, we register your keys, and you get into the information right away. Okay, that's a benefit. Okay. The next thing is the basic and the enhanced do not expire. Okay, they don't expire. And the basic is just the course material. The enhanced, you get access to Fast Trax Tube, the video platform, as part of the program. So that's $375. That's the best option that we have because that gives you everything. Now, the folks that are in the Black and the Plus, the bigger difference for those is that I personally grade all of the work. So if you submit something that's totally off kilter or something like that, I'm the one personally grading your work. Whereas in the basic and enhanced, you grade your own work. Okay, I don't grade your work for you. Now, all of our programs give you access to me on Wednesday nights. Okay, so you can bring, if you're working through the program and you have a question, something just doesn't make sense, then write it down, jot it down, copy it out of your program to a Word document, whatever. And when you join us on Wednesday nights, then you can post your question or ask your question, and I will do my best to answer it. I spend as much time necessary answering questions for students. You got a question, I want to be able to answer it for you. Okay? And so that is another thing that's unique about our program, is that I am there to try to assist you. Okay. So that's really the differences in the two. So of all of our programs, the best value is the enhanced program, but they all basically are the same core fundamental material. But just remember that the Black and the Plus are only 12-month access, and those are more expensive because they involve more interaction with me when it comes to the grading, that type of thing. So it's the same competency reviews, same questions, same database. Also, the Black and the Plus does have a bit more questions when it comes to the practice exams than the basic and the enhanced. Okay, that type of thing. So, okay. So that's the main difference. All right. Okay. Well, unless anybody's got any other questions, I'm almost at an hour. And I really didn't want to be longer than an hour, too much longer than an hour. So 90-day plan, don't look for a document anymore. A 90-day plan is just putting the work in, studying properly, at least 2 times a week for 8 hours each session. It works out to be 96 hours. So again, it's between 95 and 100 hours of dedicated study, proper study. If all you're doing is flipping through this code book, by all means, we'll sell you the database of code questions because you need something. But the optimum way to study is to get a structured program like ours, not a DVD set of people arguing and bantering, a real dedicated, broken down with graphics, illustrations, some great call outs. And anytime you have any question, you have somebody that can answer it for you. And I'm here for you personally. Okay. So let's see. Alfonso says, would I get a discount if I'm a black student and wanted to buy one of the that don't expire? No, it's already discounted. It's half the cost of the black, half the cost of the enhanced. Okay, so, and our programs, we don't offer extensions anymore. That's I don't know where some of you have been. We've been talking about that over a year ago. We ended extensions over a year ago. After COVID ended, actually, that's when the extensions ended. There is no extension for the Black or the Plus programs. They don't extend. They're 12-month access and that's it. That type of thing. So that's why we came out with the new basic and enhanced, which are, again, half the price. Some cases less than half the price of it. But those, the Black and the Plus were never designed to be more than 12 months. That's all they are, because they're hosted on a separate server and the access is only for 12 months. So we don't have the ability to extend them anymore. Okay. So we don't offer that extension, that type of thing. So, all right. All right. Well, that's it. And I'll also remind you again, Fast Trax Tube is a great option if you just want to get videos. And again, if you're not going with our program and you are just randomly going through this book and you're just buying code questions, then one of the things I recommend you to do is at least get the Fast Trax Tube, okay? Because Fast Trax Tube, you can actually sit and watch us go through the code book, watch some of the videos, do the practice exams, all of that that's up there on Fast Trax Tube. Take advantage of that 50% off coupon for Fast Trax Tube, and you know it's a great resource for you. And it's not a lot of money, $49, and you get access to those videos. Also, I should mention, this is important. Fast Trax Tube subscribers also get the ability to come to Wednesday nights. So hey, think about that. For $49.95 using the discount code at Fast Trax Tube, you also can come and sit in on Wednesday night sessions. Dude, I don't know how much more affordable I can make these things. And if I were to give folks a discount on the Black and the Plus, it still would probably be more expensive than it would be for the basic and the enhanced. Okay. That type of scenario. All right. It's just for many people, the Black and the Plus are better options, even though they're more expensive, because they get more interaction with me. That's all. Okay. Let's see here. We got a question here about access to the course. I purchased the enhanced. Can you help me how to get to the course? Well, that's kind of weird question, because if you have the enhanced and you read where you purchased, it says it's instant access. All you do is go to our website, fasttracksystem.com, go to the login, log in with the credentials you used when you purchased the course, and then go to your profile. You go to your profile, all your courses are listed in your profile. So you just got to go to your profile. As far as logging onto our website at fasttracksystem.com, I can't help you with that. You set up your password and your username for that. We can reset it for you, or you can reset it, or forgot password. But other than that, all you got to do is go to that website right there. Top right, you'll see the login button. You log in, and then right beside it, once you're logged in, you'll see the profile button. Click on your profile, and you'll see whatever course you purchased will be there. Okay. Now, if you're in the Black or the Plus, you don't log into your course on this. You got to go to the link that's in the email that you got. That's a totally different system. Even though we're logging in to the system for you on our basic enhanced, if you're in the black or the plus, you got to go to where? You got to go to Cengage's website and set up that. And that came in an email to you. You will not get an email from the enhanced and the basic. Once you purchase it, you can log right in and start because our keys are assigned to it. It's a software that we use, and it automatically registers the key for you. It takes care of all that monotony that you would have to do if you had the black or the plus. Okay? So hopefully that answers that question. Okay. Now, one thing I will tell you is that if your state is on the 2017 edition of the NEC, we do not have a basic and enhanced course for 2017 NEC. You're going to have to get the black or the plus. We're not going to be producing or setting up the interface for the basic or the enhanced for the 2017 code. Only the 2020 and the 2023. So if you're on the 2017 code, you've got no choice but to go with the black or the plus. We're just not going to update it because that is over 2 cycles ago, and we're not going to change that and update it. Okay. So I know there's a few states out there that are still on the 2017, but you're going to have to use the black or the plus for that. California, I think California has actually started testing on the 2020, but you need to always check with your state testing authority just to be sure. So make sure you call the state or whoever your test center is or whoever administers the test in your state and get it from the horse's mouth, because we never know when a state's going to change from one cycle to another. Okay. And just so you know, our courses are not upgradable. In other words, you can't get the 2017 and then have it upgraded to the 2020. Our courses don't work that way. You only get access to the one you buy. Now, we do have a bundle program out that lets you get the basic or the enhanced, or basically it's the enhanced, but you get the 2020 and the 2023. That's something new that we released. But it's, and that gives you the Fast Trax tube as well. But that's something new that's available on our website. Okay. All right. If you're confused with any of that, just do me a favor. Just go and email us. You can go right on our website. And it's real easy to reach out to us there. There's a contact us button there, and just send us a question, and I'm more than happy to try to clarify it for you. Okay? All right, guys. Appreciate you spending the time with me. I wish you all the success in the world for everybody studying. Look, if you're struggling, a lot of people struggle. Wouldn't have to create programs like this if it was easy, folks. They're not easy. And it's not like they're creating them as trick questions. What they're doing is basically trying to create that threshold of knowledge that once you get over it, now you start learning the skills as a master or journeyman, but they need to set a bar there that you have to get over. So you should be learning how to do single family dwellings. You should be learning how to do multifamily dwellings. You should be learning how to do non-dwelling applications. You should be learning how to calculate motors, transformer protection. You should be learning how one of the great videos that are over on Fast Trax Tube is our derating demystified series. And we've updated it for the 2023. That shows you how to size conductors, do conditions of use, how to apply an ambient adjustment, or a temperature, ambient correction, and an adjustment based on the number of current carrying conductors. We have a great video for that, all of that stuff, and we will constantly be adding more videos. Okay, so what I wanted to announce is that, that's my notice there. Hold on, let me silence this notice really quickly. This is to let everybody know that's what my blood sugar is, by the way. Okay, so that's probably not good. All right, so it's probably not good. It isn't good. Diabetes has got me. We are coming out with Just Calculations, the book, towards the end of the summer. Hopefully, everything's going well with that. But the video series, Just Calculations, will be starting in probably a little less than a month. And that is going to be an exclusive series, only available on Fast Trax Tube. It will not be available on YouTube. You won't find it on any of those other social media platforms. Okay. $49.50 right now using the 50% off code over at Fast Trax Tube. I'd get in while you can. All right, folks, I appreciate all of you. Thanks for joining. I appreciate you spending time out of your day. I know you all work hard, and to be able to come and do this and take time out of your day, trust me, I appreciate it. All right, folks, God bless. Till next